it's Nell, and I'm hanging out on my side patio, and I'm going to be doing a succulent potting project today that I thought you might be interested in seeing. It's similar to this. This is my gray fish hooks, Senecio, which is touching the ground. I have to keep on cutting it. It's just growing like crazy here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 similar hanging succulents in one pot, and that is string of pearls. We love those. Look, there are a couple of tomato plants. A little couple tomato seedlings growing in there. Who knows where they came from? And string of hearts, which I just did a blog post on and a video. Of course, I've done a few posts on string of pearls, and I have a couple of stray string of pearls cuttings I'm going to put in there, and then I have either 2 or 3 string of bananas. So come on over to the potting table because we're going to start now. All right, I'm all set up here, and here is the hanging pot. It's the same as the one that I planted the fish hook Senecio in, but I sprayed this one purple. That one is a deep red because I want a little bit of color. I have the succulent and cactus mix in the container. It's about halfway full, and I drilled a drainage hole in the bottom because that's very important. This pot didn't have one, but I did put a piece of paper over the drain hole. So what that'll do is it'll hold the soil in while it's all like melding in, while it's rooting. Otherwise, this loose soil, some of it will just come out the bottom, and I don't want that to happen. And I'm going to add some compost into here, some local organic compost, and what that does is it holds a little bit of moisture. I do want it to hold moisture because I am in the desert, and these 2 plants, these 3 plants, actually I found take a little bit more water than the succulents that have the really big fleshy leaves and the big fleshy stems, and because they store more in there. So I just want to add a little bit of that in here to mix into the mix. String of hearts is not really a succulent, but it is considered a succulent vine. But these 2, the care for them is almost the same, along with the string of bananas. So I'm going to finish getting this in here. I'm just going to put about a 1/2 inch of it in here, and then I'm going to mix it all the way through. Then starts the transplanting, and both these are a little bit tricky to work with because the stems on them break very easily. Okay, I put the glasses on, so it's time to get serious. And this soil is about up to here in the pot. So we start by taking off these hangers. I want to not have so many pots of plants here because it is hot in the desert. It's November 11th, and I think it's like 80 degrees. But the summers are very hot, so I just don't want to have so many smaller pots to maintain. And I'm trying to cut down on my container pot fixation because I am sort of addicted to them, but I keep on wanting, I want one more big container, yeah, and I'm like, no, go easy on the containers because you're going to be traveling too. You're going to have to get somebody to take care of all these. So anyway, I'll see if I can reel my addiction in. Okay, so I'm going to start with this string of hearts, and I'm going to press on it like this. Really gently but firmly squeeze the pot, and we'll see if that does it. Oh yes. Ooh, that's a nice root system. As you can see, the root system on here, all nice and healthy and beautiful. Now let's try the SOP over here. Oops, there's already been a few break off, but that's what happens. They're hard to work with. Okay, there we go. This one has a much finer root system, as you can see. Okay, stay there, baby. Okay, now it's time to get them in the pot. I'm leaving the chain on because they aren't clipped in here. They're like, it would be very hard to get the chain off and back on, so I'm gonna work around it again. And I'm just gonna gently kind of just loosen the root system just a little bit, not too much. This is actually a pretty sturdy plant. The pearls and the 2 tomato seedlings. It's gonna look a little awkward at first, but I think it's gonna grow in beautifully. Okay, so I'm just gonna get some soil in here and some compost, and at the end I will plant these cuttings over here. I'm gonna do the string of bananas where it has plenty of room to grow because there's only 3 strings of the string of bananas. All right, so we can see a little bit closer what's going on, I filled up the pot with the mix here, this succulent mix, and now I'm going to plant these cuttings. There's 1 string of pearls which has a root on it, so I think I will do it over here, just because there's more room back here where the string of bananas are going to go. The lone string of bananas. Oops, they're falling off like crazy. I'm just gonna stick these cuttings right in here, and if they take, they take. If they don't, they don't. Here's the string of bananas. This is the one that has the best root system. Things have not been rooting all that fast here. They used to root really fast in Santa Barbara, but not as fast here. I don't know if it's just too hot and dry or what. And then there's just this little piece that I'm going to stick right in here. It's just got 1 little root on it, but hopefully it will root in. I'll put it over here. Okay, so it's all done, and I got the chain pulled up right too. As I said, it doesn't look really wonderfully fabulous now, but it will in spring. By spring it'll be beautiful. And I wanted to do it now. It's November 11th, and I wanted to do it now because I don't like to transplant plants in the wintertime. That's a time for their roots to rest, so it's not the best time to do it. Spring and summer are actually the best, but it's still very warm here. And this pot is hopefully going to live outside. I don't know. I might be being optimistic about that. Stay outside all year long. I might have to bring it into my very bright laundry room. I don't know. We'll see how the temps go. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this under my grapefruit tree for about a week or so. It's going to settle in. It's going to settle in for about, I'm going to have it settle in for about 3 or 4 days with no water. And then I will water it, and then I will give it some worm compost, which I have right here. Actually, I think I'll sprinkle a little worm compost on right now, because that's not going to hurt it at all, because it's the water that that works it in anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on, because that's how I like to feed succulents. With this, I just I do it upon planting, and then I do it in the spring. And that's how I feed them. Just a little bit of a topping at this time of year. I don't want to feed it too much. A little bit of from that side, not too much going on this side. This will be the back until those bananas really get going. So I hope you have found this video to be helpful, and maybe it'll inspire you to do a trio of hanging succulents yourself. So I'm going to take it out to the garden. And speaking of the garden, let's get out in the garden and make the world a more beautiful place. I have a lot more videos coming your way, so come on back. And as always, I thank you for all your likes, your comments, your subscribes. I appreciate them, and I will see you in the next video. Well, you're seeing me in this video. Time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching.